Okay, so we're going to talk about how to throw a proper punch and the types of punches. We're going to talk about the types of punches you want to do and the types you don't. Okay, so everyone sees, we're going to talk about what you don't want to do. 2 things you don't want to do. Okay, so the first one you don't want to do that a lot of people think you should do is we call them haymakers, where you're basically telegraphing too much. So it kind of looks like, you see people, they get all excited, like, where they're sitting there like that. And we call it like throwing hay, because it's like just out there. I saw one fight, it was ridiculous. I thought they were just filming a joke video, like outside my apartment. They were literally, sometimes you see this in some areas, they were like this, it was ridiculous. Okay, you don't want to telegraph, because if I could see it from a mile away, look at how this works. It's like that. Don't do that. You want your stuff to be direct. Even if you just have to practice like this for a while, just like this. I know that I showed a video of how to defeat this, but that's not the point. Most people can't do that and don't know how to do that. So 99.9% of the time, your blocks are safe against most people. You want to come in directly like that. That. Now, another thing that you got to focus on too, when you punch, you want to come to about here. You still want bend in this elbow. It's good to have bend in this elbow, because straight up, if I go too far out, the person has a high probability of catching that arm, straight catching it. You can do a lot if you own someone's arm, right? You could even exploit pressure points using certain types of weapons, like you got pressure points like here, even back here, right here, especially. Everyone's hit that, right? Just messing around, just like in your house, people talk about hitting that funny bone. I don't know what it's called, it doesn't matter. But anyways, those are like nerve endings and stuff. And we can talk about body hardening later. That's its own video for sure. But you don't want to overextend, and you do not want to telegraph. You want things to be straight. Even if you have to, just. And after a while, against some people fighting, you don't even want to do a closed hand punch, because the things that we'll definitely have to get into later. But sometimes some fighting styles, like your closed hand punch, they can actually break a knuckle. I'm not kidding. The goal is actually to break someone's knuckle in those. So, one trick that you should try learning too, that's just as efficient, iron palm. It's basically the bottom here, and it's like that. Or, your curved surfaces like this, or this, anything that just is on a longer bone that isn't concentrated on a little knuckle, But that's, of course, more advanced too. I've also seen this, there's a lot of tricks. So we're going to talk about throwing different things. So your iron palm, same thing. And you see me do this thing with the back of the heel, right? Now, the reason I'm doing that is because it's easier to use your body mechanics when you're doing the whole thing versus just that. So, see the difference? Versus you know. Now, you can do a jab, but that's okay. You can do jabs, but if you want like real power, real weight, real knockout power, you want to use as many, like you don't want to just use just these muscles. I mean, with what I'm showing you, flaring the heel, you were using everything from here to here, even your leg. You were literally throwing everything into that. And remember the fighting stance from the first video, which is just shoulders apart, kind of straight on, one in front of the other, so that you can do that. Now, another thing too, just practice your iron palm. You get the most power from an iron palm, believe it or not, coming from here. Just boom. And you always want to you want to exhale energy. You know, you'll see in martial arts schools, you'll see, I. It's a real thing. You're also, it's forcing you to even use some of your abdominal muscles, you're focusing, that kind of thing. When I was in the Marine Corps, it's like, kill, 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 kill. You know, they're teaching you to do something different because it might be you or the other guy coming back home. You know what I mean? It can happen. Trying to think. Hammer fist. This one's going to be important too. Okay? Once you practice this, if you've seen my other videos, you'll know half of what the idea of this was behind. You can say whatever you want. You can say you can say kill, you could say heal, you could say whatever you want. Just say something when you could grunt. You just need to do something. Oh yeah, this one too. And remember, we got the iron palm, but also too, once you practice, and always practice at least one hand in front so that you can just catch. You can be supposed to, you know? Even practice going back and forth. All right. And you can have fun with that. I mean, I'm just here for 8 minutes, just playing around. I mean, do a couple minutes on each hand. Or on each side, each one of those deals, and it's not bad. If the biggest thing is being able to build up your endurance. And all right, I hope you enjoy this.